to get into the film stuff. I just kind of talk about this for a minute, so just really hit off my chest. When I first dealt with, was met with the news that this part of my past had come out. My knee-jerk reaction was selfish. It was self-serving. It was self-centered. I wasn't thinking about even the potential hurt of others. I was thinking about myself. I was thinking about, what I felt, being indignant about what I felt about me, and not even recognizing that this thing that had resurfaced again. If we believe in God, everything that happens for a reason, right? He's trying to refine something, and you bring something out of you. I spend so much time talking about issues of within our community about racism, right? How do we deal with white supremacy? How do we deal with the race issue in America? How do we deal with the fact that we're not seen, that we're not heard, that we are invisible? We don't spend a lot of time talking about the behaviors against women, just generally even. Not proud of who I was when I was 19, the way I treated women. I objectified women. My manhood was defined by how many women I could be with. I was a dog. Mm-hmm. And that was wrong. I hurt a lot of women. And that was normal for me. It was just with respect to how I treated them emotionally and how I discarded women. I was introduced to sex in a certain way, and that was my, where I come from, they call it mouthpiece. Can you get a girl to say yes? And I relied upon that in my adolescence. And that type of male culture, that type of hyper masculinity where your manhood is determined by how many women you can get to say yes, is destructive. It is bad, it's hurtful, and I think it perpetuates behaviors that are unhealthy and make for unhealthy relationships. And I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry to the women in this room. No, I'm serious. I am. I'm a work in progress. I'm trying, y'all. I don't look at this as, people may say, oh, the timing of this is, no. God's timing is perfect. This is happening for a very specific reason. And if I'm going to talk about, I think her name is a sister who wrote an open letter, and her name is Maisha Kai. And she said, you say healing only comes from honest confrontation. Well, there's some healing that needs to happen in our community with respect to just how women are treated, violence against women. And all, to be honest, my privilege as a male, I never thought about it. I'm walking around ready to get in. I'm daring someone to say something or do something that I define as racist or is holding us back, but never really thinking about the male culture and the destructive effect that's happening on our community now. So I don't pretend to be perfect, y'all. Like I said, those comments were knee-jerk reactions, but I'm learning. These last couple weeks I've talked to a lot of people, a lot of women inside my family, outside of my family, and I'm in a growth period. And I'm trying to get better, trying to make better decisions about not just how I protect my daughters or whatever women close to me, but women that aren't my daughters. And how I educate men as to how, when they get ready to go to school, or whatever they're doing, behaviors that are just unhealthy, whether it be in the barbershop talking about getting girls, or be on the train hollering at a girl. We need to change the conversation about how we respect women, how we carry ourselves, and I'm taking a weight for that, y'all. I'm not running from that. I'm going to pray about it, and like I said, I'm sorry.
No, this is good, because this is really what the Merge Conference has been about. It's where Hollywood and faith collide. Right. And I said this to you privately in the hallway. I applaud you for, from day one, the first film, the first interview in the Virginia pilot, addressing your past and never shying away from it. I think I personally have been publicly critical of Bill Cosby, no matter what anybody else thinks of it. I've always had an opinion about the fact that he was able to manipulate the media so that he never had to address the accusations that were presented against him. You had your day in court. You were acquitted, and you've never shied away about talking about your past. And I also applaud you today because I was never told, don't bring the topic up with Nate. Cassandra Butcher from Fox Searchlight and other people from Liquid Soul, nobody said don't talk about it. I didn't have an intention on talking about it because I have an opinion about it that I didn't think was necessary for the film. So I applaud you yet again for addressing something that, and taking accountability of an issue firsthand when most people in Hollywood shy away from their past.
Well, please don't applaud, please. I didn't thank you, brother. But it's about growth, right? It's about, how can we be refined? What is the Lord trying to bring me to do? And if I'm walking one road and talking about justice, but denying or ignoring the justice of another group, that's not right. So I think this is perfect timing. I think this is perfect timing for me to address this thing. And I do think there are things that are bigger than the court. And I think they're bigger than the innocence of one specific reality is if as my pastor would say, sin is sin. And if you're engaged in unhealthy relationships, if you're, and brothers, I'm not attacking, you know what I mean? I'm not speaking for any of you all. This is my personal journey. But I do think the bigger point is we don't spend any time talking about male culture, and I'm just learning about it. And I thought I knew stuff. You know what I mean? You go in my book, Ancient African Civilization, Garvey, Malcolm X, anything you want to learn, Children of the Sun, Egyptian, like anything that has to do with race, I study it, I meditate on it day and night. But things that deal with male culture, privilege that's been invisible to me, it's so crazy because it's like male privilege in a way is like white supremacy. In a sense that with white supremacy, you can have white supremacist beliefs and not even know it because the culture is designed for you. So you never even have to think about it. So I can call someone out and be like, no, you do have white privilege. Let me tell you why. And feel like I'm right. But when it comes to male privilege, not even one time. I mean, shoot, if racism ended tomorrow, but violence against women didn't change, we'd be in a spot still. So I'm really just trying to wrap my head around how I can be a part, how that can be a part of this curriculum of this film, how we can use this platform not just for one sliver of justice, but to deal with all injustice, inclusive of a culture that far too often turns its back on women of color, but women in general as well. So that said, I don't want to get down. I know you guys saw this film. I know you came to talk about the film, but I don't know. It's been on my heart, so I just wanted to just share what I was feeling with y'all, because I haven't spoken. When I did speak, it was a knee-jerk reaction. It was the wrong thing to say at the wrong time to say, but I jumped out like, what? No. Then I sat back and I started reading comments. And I ain't a social media dude. I don't Twitter as much as people do, and I don't do. But when I was reading these comments, I saw a lot of hurt, justified hurt. And I know that with those comments, I hurt people that were voices. I was nonchalant. In an environment where people, their hurt is real. So that said, it's tough. Growing, but we gotta do it. I gotta do the work. I ain't perfect. I'm gonna keep on trying to expand myself